In today's video, we'll discuss how Accenture has left the Indian IT firms far behind in the IT game, and we'll dive deep into what Accenture exactly did right and where did the Indian IT firms miss the opportunity. So, this American powerhouse Accenture has nearly twice the pace of largest Indian rivals, and the most striking thing about this is that Accenture secured 4.78 billion in new business, a figure that exceeds the combined incremental revenue of India's 15 largest IT firms. So on that's the level on which Accenture has outperformed the Indian IT firms. So Accenture's main this outperformance is credited to its pivot to the artificial intelligence. So over the half of the company's incremental revenue in 2025 was accredited to advanced AI solutions offered to the companies. Now, to understand this, we have to dive deep in how Accenture actually did it because everyone currently is facing the uncertainty related to artificial intelligence, and all the firms are confused how to incorporate it and how to really, make use of it. So, Accenture was very early in the game. Accenture realized that AI's potential far before than anyone was really aware about it. So, as you can see, the CEO of the Accenture has commented that they have been requiring all of their employees to take a course on AI way back in 2019. So that's a major advantage that all of its employees were actually, you know, well averse and well aware about the AI. Now, suddenly, when ChatGPT got famous and everyone was talking about artificial intelligence, Indian IT majors have suddenly woken up, racing to train hundreds and thousands of their employees. Last fiscal year, TCS, Infosys, and all of them have rushed to offer employee training and really have been in a hurry and rush to pivot to AI. And it was not a slow progress like Accenture did. So another important thing Accenture did was it really focused on strategic acquisitions. Between September 2014 and August 2024, Accenture has spent 23.4 billion acquiring 322 companies. And the most important thing is that 90% of these acquisitions were not focused on, increasing their business or adding more revenue sources, but it was focused on intellectual property and, specialized skills like artificial intelligence, cyber security. And India also did some acquisitions, like here it is mentioned 9.5 billion. But most of our Indian IT acquisitions are done with revenue generation purpose in mind. And that's very, you know, in accordance to the Indian mindset that if we are investing some money, we should, get something back of monetary value. But what Accenture did was really, on the contrary, because it really focused on acquiring companies which were specialized in these technological skills so it could, build the talent, build expertise in these areas to eventually gain dominance when the artificial intelligence really, penetrated in the society. So here we see that there is a major d- difference in perception of AI, as Accenture has treated artificial intelligence as an opportunity. It has really capitalized on this opportunity by acting early and building capabilities around it, while Indian ID firms are still perceiving AI as a threat and a risk to their business. And this caution mindset has slowed their ability to scale and innovate in the AI space. They are always thinking like, how do we, save our business from AI, from the risks of AI? But they should actually, really focus on building capabilities around AI. Recently, also, TCS have been in news that they have, you know, launched a full data center investment process. But many people are doubting on the effectiveness of those plans because, you know, Accenture is well planned and was well aware of AI, but Indian ID firms are currently doing everything just to save themselves in a hurry. So, and to make matters worse, as you can see in the news these days, Indian ID firms are facing a lot of problems. They are facing both internal and external problems, like the Trump suspended the H-1B visa, and these offices of these software companies in the US rely heavily on Indian talent, because obviously they are cheaper to migrate and then work there. But since the heavy fees levied by Trump, that source have been completely inexistent, while Accenture in contrast is cushioned from these pressures, as its management stated that it only has 5% of its US workforce which is relied on H-1B visas. So it is not really affected by the pressure of these problems. So Accenture achieved growth by focusing on consulting, branding, and strategic acquisitions, while Indian firms, the main speciality of Indian firms was cost effectiveness and uh, fast delivery, because India has large availability of cheap labors, which is inexistent in other countries. So it was scaling on that cost efficiency for a long time. But now is the time that artificial intelligence is really destroying their mode of cost efficiency, because artificial intelligence is the most cost effective cheese uh, thing in the world. So copying Accenture is no longer enough to succeed in the AI era. ID firms would really need to reinvent themselves and to stay competitive. So the conclusion of this would be that Indian ID firms should start investing in themselves by training their employees, focusing on building capabilities and doing acquisitions, not the having the purpose of revenue generation, but building specialized knowledge in these areas of technology. And Accenture is really skyrocketed in terms of their business and their consulting business, their technology business. It would be a tough thing to compete with Accenture now, but I'm really hopeful that Indian ID firms find their path through these tough times, and I guess eventually they'll find some ways to be competitive with these foreign giants. So yeah, that's all for today, and I'll I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you for watching.